A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The End and the Second Coming, chapter 24. Jesus left the temple, and as he was going away, his disciples came up to draw his attention to the temple buildings. He said to them in reply, "You see all these? Amen, I say to you. Not a single stone here will be left on another, which will not be pulled down." And while he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came and asked him, when they were on their own, "Tell us, when will this be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world?" The beginning of sorrows. And Jesus answered them, "Take care that no one leads you astray, for many will come using my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and they will lead many astray. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this is something that must happen, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All this is only the beginning of the birth pangs. Then they will hand you over to be tortured and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations on account of my name. And then many will be given occasion to stumble. People will betray one another and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise. They will lead many astray, and with the increase of lawlessness, love in most people will grow cold. But anyone who endures to the end will be saved. This good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed to the whole world as evidence to the nations. And then the end will come, the great tribulation. So when you see the appalling abomination spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. Anyone on the housetop should not come down to collect belongings from the house. Anyone in the fields should not turn back to fetch a tunic. Alas, for those with child or with babies at the breast when those days come. Pray that you will not have to make your escape in winter or on a Sabbath, for then there will be great distress, unparalleled since the world began, and such as will never be again. And if that time had not been shortened, no human being would have survived. But shortened that time shall be, for the sake of those who are chosen. If anyone says to you then, "Look, here is the Messiah," or "Over here," do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will arise and provide great signs and portents, enough to lead astray even the elect. if that were possible. Look, I have given you warning. The second coming. If then they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go there. Look, he is in some hiding place. Do not believe it, because the coming of the Son of Man will be like lightning striking in the east and flashing far into the west. Wherever the corpse is, that is where the vultures will gather. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened. The moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. Then too, all the peoples of the earth will beat their breasts, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet to gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. The timing of the event. Take the fig tree as a parable. As soon as its twigs grow supple and it puts out leaves, you know that summer is near. So will you, when you see all these things, know that he is near, at the gates. Amen, I say to you, before this generation has passed away, all these things will take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. But as for that day and hour, nobody knows it. Neither the angels of heaven, nor the Son, no one but the Father alone. As it was in Noah's day, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For in those days before the flood, people were eating, drinking, taking wives, taking husbands, until the day Noah went into the ark, and they suspected nothing till the flood came and swept them all away. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then of two men in the fields, one is taken, one left. Of two women grinding at the mill, one is taken, one left. So stay awake, because you do not know the day when your master is coming. Parables of readiness. You may be sure of this, that if the householder had known at what time of the night the burglar would come, he would have stayed awake and would have not allowed anyone to break through the wall of his house. Therefore, you too must stand ready, because the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Parable of the conscientious steward. Who then is the wise and trustworthy servant whom the master placed over his household to give them their food at the proper time? Blessed that servant, if his master's arrival finds him doing exactly that. Amen, I say to you, he will put him in charge of everything he owns. But if that evil servant says to himself, my master is taking his time, and sets about beating his fellow servants and eating and drinking with drunkards, his master will come on a day he does not expect and at an hour he does not know. The master will cut him off and send him to the same fate as the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. The word of the Lord.